Do you remember how awesome New Zealand was?
Oh yes. If we could only go back in time.
I wasn't ready for that.
Look at that flow. 7 months.
That's what I like.
We're doing a little travel tips about our time spent in New Zealand. Top 5 things that you should do if you're going there. Special shout out to Kim and Aaron for requesting this video. We are in Australia. We're doing a help ex. Today our job is to clean this house. While we clean, we will tell you about all the best places that we liked in New Zealand.
That's what I like. That's what I like.
Everyone said don't spend any time on the North Island, just to head down to the South Island. Don't listen to them.
North Island is going to be more tropical. You're going to find your beaches. The water is still going to be fairly cold, but you can still get in and have a good time.
And if you're just there to do hiking and see the mountains, there's a few mountains in the North Island, but really where you want to go down is the South Island, because that's where Mount Cook is and Milford Sound and all that beautiful stuff.
Still in focus. So there's so many awesome places in New Zealand. I'm going to tell you my 2 favorite places in the North Island. Mark will do the same, and then we'll tell you what our favorites were for the South Island. One of my favorites in the North Island was the Waitomo Caves, and that's where we got to see the glowworms, and it was such a cool experience. The company we went with was Blackwater Rafting, and the tour guides were awesome. The only thing I would change is instead of getting the abseiling, I would just do the caves and the Blackwater rafting through the caves. That was my favorite part. It was so cool. You just sat back and floated on the raft. The water was super cold though, but you could see all the glowworms. It looked like just a bunch of stars, and it was so cool.
Okay, so my favorite place on the North Island was this little place called Castle Point. It's down on the very southeast corner of the North Island. It's got this beautiful lighthouse and this nice bay. The wind there is so crazy. Just imagine this beautiful hair blowing in the wind. Like that. This is a definite must do. Beautiful. There weren't many people there. You can camp basically on the beach with your van. You can drive out onto the sand.
And the stars were so cool.
That's what I like.
My second favorite was Mercer Beach. We spent our first night in our beautiful van at this location in between Piha Beach and Kari Kari, and we ended up waking up and going for a little hike, and Mark noticed that there was a pathway down to this little private beach area, so we had to climb down there and we had to use a rope, but it was so worth it. We had it all to ourselves, and we even did a little skinny dipping.
That's what I like.
Okay guys, so my next favorite place on the North Island, it's a toss-up, it's close. The Tongariro crossing was amazing, but I might have to go with Mount Maunganui. It's this great little town up near the Coromandel on the northeast part of the North Island, and there's a little hike you can do to overlook the village or the town. On the beach on the east coast, there's a little island you can walk out to, and there's this place called the Blowhole. There's a cliff jump you can do. It's about probably 8 meters high. Do it.
That's what I like.
Straight up, just jump.
That's what I like.
But we met up with some locals while we were there. They showed us the place. We went out there and jumped. It was awesome. If you go to Mount Maunganui, go jump off the cliff at the Blowhole. But don't jump into the Blowhole, because then your vacation will be over. Or as Amanda said,
Your life will be over. So now let's go to the South Island. My first favorite spot was Lake Pukaki. We weren't even planning on stopping there. We were just driving down and we saw how blue the water was. It was amazing. I've never seen water like that. And I think it was so beautiful we forgot to even take pictures there. And this is kind of 2 in 1 because 10 minutes away was the lavender farm. It was so cool. I've never seen one like that. It was beautiful. We got these cool pictures there. That was my favorite.
favorite spot in the South Island. So as I was saying, my favorite thing in the South Island was in Queenstown. So obviously if you're going to the South Island, you're gonna go to Queenstown. But when you're there, you have to go to AJ Hackett, do the bungee jump.
That's what I like. That's what I like. Lucky for you, that's what I like. That's what I like.
We had never done bungee jumping before. We had skydived, but I actually liked bungee jumping better. We did the Carwow Bridge, and I think that was 43 meters. It was awesome. Go to Queenstown, do the bungee jump. It's worth it. So Amanda, have you ever drove a riding lawnmower before?
No.
Today,
You're
PR,
gonna teach me?
personal record, Amanda's gonna mow some grass.
Like happiness is the truth. I'm happy. You know what happiness is.
My second favorite in the South Island was the Hooker Lake Trek. So Mount Cook is in the distance, but the hike is just so beautiful. They have so many of the suspension bridges. You can see the snow-capped mountains in the background, the clouds, the water, just everything was amazing. It was one of my favorite hikes. Now it's time to cut the grass, I guess.
And my second favorite thing in the South Island, God, this is tough because there are so many awesome things. New Zealand has the most amazing sunrises and sunsets. And so there's this little spot just outside of Christchurch called Sign of the Bellbird. Go there, there's a little viewpoint. We stayed there for 3 nights. It's perfect because you go there, you catch this beautiful sunset, then you sleep, wake up bright and early the next morning, walk down and catch an amazing sunrise. It just overlooks this beautiful bay. If you're in Christchurch, make sure you take a short little, it's like a 30 or 45 minute drive out there. Don't miss that place. We definitely recommend visiting New Zealand. It was just such an amazing little country.
It's been one of my favorites so far.
It's great because it's so small, but there's so much packed into that little country. Waterfalls, mountains, beaches.
And everything's so close. It's only like a 2-hour drive. It's amazing.
And we didn't cover by any means even a fraction of what New Zealand has to offer. So those were just some of the things that really stick out in our mind.
We were only there for 6 weeks. We were on the go every single day, but it was so awesome.
Another few weeks would have been nice.
That would have been perfect.
Let us know if you guys have been to any of those spots already.
In the future, we plan to do tips on traveling through New Zealand.
So if you guys have any specific questions, let us know in the comments below too, and we can throw those in a future video. So give us a big thumbs up. If you're not already a beautiful beastie, which means you're not subscribed to our channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. We'll see you guys in the next video.
Bye.
Map, 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 all day long. Map, 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 while I sing this song.